Speaking at Madhya Pradesh on his 75th birthday, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has once again underlined that India will not be scared by nuclear threats, and he also hailed the success of Operation Sindoor. Here's more.
दुनिया ने देखा है, फिर एक पाकिस्तानी आतंकी ने रो रो कर अपना हाल बताया है। साथियों, ये नया भारत है। ये
पास VOBT पे आना,
किसी की परमाणु धमकियों से डरता नहीं है। ये नया भारत है, घर में घुसकर मारता है। मां भारती की सुरक्षा को सर्वोच्च प्राथमिकता देता है। पाकिस्तान से आए आतंकियों ने हमारी बहनों बेटियों का सिंदूर उजाड़ा था। हमने ऑपरेशन सिंदूर करके आतंकी ठिकानों को उजाड़ दिया है। हमारे वीर जवानों ने पलक झपकते ही पाकिस्तान को घुटनों पर ला दिया।
PM Modi and US President Donald Trump spoke on the phone on Tuesday night in their first call since June, with both leaders publicly referring only to birthday greetings and the Ukraine war. Neither leader mentioned trade in their public accounts of the call. The last conversation for perspective between the two leaders had taken place on the 18th of June. This is when PM Modi rejected Trump's repeated claim that Washington had mediated the end of the clashes between India and Pakistan the previous month. Across another border in Canada, as India and Ottawa resume diplomatic ties, Sikhs for Justice (SFJ), a US-based Khalistani outfit which has been banned in India, has threatened to siege the Indian Consulate in Vancouver. Now, the pro-Khalistani group said it will take over the Indian Consulate on Thursday and asked Indo-Canadians planning a routine visit to the consulate to choose another date. They also released a poster showing the new Indian High Commissioner Dinesh Patnaik with a target on his face. Now, in a statement, the group accused Indian consulates of running a spy network and surveillance targeting Khalistani extremists. My colleague Maha Siddiqui gets you more from Ground Zero, Vancouver.
Yet another provocative move by banned Khalistani outfit Sikhs for Justice, who've threatened a siege of the Indian Consulate in Vancouver on Thursday. The outfit has in fact also released a poster with a target mark over the picture of the new Indian High Commissioner to Ottawa, Dinesh Patnaik. This is not the first time that violent threats have been made by SFJ against Indian missions or its diplomats. Over the past 2 years, similar threats have been made, and specifically after the killing of pro-Khalistani separatist Hardeep Singh Nijjar, when similar posters with the names of Indian diplomats or their pictures came up. Meanwhile, the Indian government at that time had expressed serious concern over the security of its diplomats, and the government at that time had said that they would provide adequate security to the diplomats as per the Vienna Convention. But the relationship over the issue between the two sides soured soon, with the then Prime Minister Justin Trudeau accusing the Indian government agents' involvement in the killing of Hardeep Singh Nijjar. But more recently, the two sides have tried to reset the relationship with a meeting on the sidelines of the G7 summit in Kananaskis between Prime Minister Mark Carney and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The two sides have also reinstated their senior-most diplomats in each other's country, that is the High Commissioners, only recently a couple of weeks ago. Meanwhile, the Canadian Security Intelligence Service, that is the CSIS, has also for the first time in its annual report acknowledged the threats from pro-Khalistan separatist groups, saying that they have used the Canadian soil for raising funds and for planning violent threats against India as well. In the backdrop of all this, the recent threats that have been made by the SFJ come into focus, and also the requirement by the Canadian side to step up and perhaps make a statement as well as to how they are likely to secure the Indian High Commission as well as the Indian Consulate in Vancouver, specifically where this threat of the siege has been made. So far, the RCMP, that is the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, has made no statement. But recently, the RCMP, it was reported, had issued a warning to the successor of Hardeep Singh Nijjar, warning him rather that there were threats against him and that they have provided him with witness protection level security. This is an issue that the SFJ is linking now for the threat that they have issued for the siege of the Indian Consulate in Vancouver. In Vancouver, this is Maha Siddiqui for NDTV.
Prosecutors have brought a murder charge against the man accused of assassinating Charlie Kirk and have outlined evidence. This includes a text message confession to his partner and a note left beforehand saying he had the opportunity to kill one of the nation's leading conservative voices. And I quote here, and I'm going to take it. We stay with Washington, where a defiant Kash Patel on Tuesday denied Democratic senators' accusations that the firings of top FBI agents were politically motivated, and that he insisted he was staying as the Bureau's director despite reports that the White House had grown concerned with his leadership. Now, several Democrats on the committee accepted the invitation, getting into angry exchanges, at least one shouting match with the director over the course of the 4.5-hour-long hearing. We get you that fiery exchange.
My God.
If you want to talk about
dividing this country,
it is
I
my
follow
time.
you on your social media posts that
It is
tear
my
this country
time
apart.
to
There
address
should be a
your
unifying-
falsehoods.
Oh,
You are an
you can try
embarrassment
all
to the
you
division
want
in this country.
to not take
Senator,
responsibility
it is my time.
for what
You
you
had
have
your
said.
time.
Sir, you're
Your
making a
time is
mockery of this
over.
committee. Sir, you don't tell me my time is over.
You
The
know how
people
far
of New
we've
Jersey
come
tell me
since
what my
you
time is.
Senator,
You can't lecture me.
You can tell me
Sir,
my time's over?
You may be in charge of the
I'm not
FBI,
going anywhere.
but I am not afraid of you, sir.
Mr. Chairman.
Not afraid of you.
Over in the Middle East, a UN commission on Tuesday concluded that Israel is committing genocide against Palestinians in the Gaza Strip, urging Israel to immediately cease its atrocities in the Palestinian enclave. The Israeli authorities, meanwhile, and security forces have committed 4 of the 5 acts of genocide, including killing, causing serious physical and mental harm, deliberately destroying the living conditions, and implementing measures aimed at preventing fertility. The UN Independent Internal Commission of Inquiry on the occupied Palestinian territory, including East Jerusalem, that is, and Israel, said in a report. Meanwhile, Israel rejected what it calls a distorted and false report. Here's more.
But the facts are 60,000, 65,000 dead, at least, of whom at least 20,000 are children. These deaths are not accidents. They are not collateral damage. They are the direct consequence of a military strategy of saturation bombing and scorched earth when it comes to the infrastructure of Gaza and the people of Gaza. We are told that the number of children that have had one or both legs and arms amputated is greater than in any other conflict this century. Certainly we know the number of children who have lost one or both parent. The trauma, the psychological trauma for children will last their whole lives. And it's time that it stopped. And it's time that those who were responsible for this were held accountable. Honestly, the Israeli responses are becoming so boring. You know, they say the same thing every time. They're producing the responses by ChatGPT these days. And they spend so much money in the Foreign Ministry on propaganda, you think that they would actually come up with something original. I would want them to engage with the evidence, but they never engage with the evidence. They put the report into ChatGPT, and then they put out the standard response.
Meanwhile, hundreds of people carried their belongings on the crowded roads in Wadi Gaza on Wednesday. Some on foot, some pedaling bicycles, and others with vehicles filled to their capacity or filled to the brims. As it's called, the war has killed more than 64,000 people in the enclave so far. Over in Washington, US President Donald Trump has extended for the fourth time the deadline for when TikTok, Chinese ByteDance-owned TikTok, must be separated from its owner. Now, ByteDance or face a ban in the United States. The extension to mid-December could very well be Mr. Trump's last ticket for the video app. US President Donald Trump arrived in the UK on Tuesday for a state visit during which the British government hopes a multi-billion-dollar technology deal will show the transatlantic bond that remains strong despite differences over Ukraine, the Middle East, and the future of the Western alliance. Listen in.
Hello, everybody. We just had a great flight. And, our fantastic ambassador, we appreciate the job he's doing. Thank you, Coach. Really well, really well. The relationships were great, and he's been outstanding. So I want to thank him and for welcoming us. We had a good flight. A lot of people came with us, and tomorrow's going to be a very big day, Mr. Ambassador.
Well, this is the heavily secured Winfield House in central London, the US ambassador's residence here, and President Trump is due to leave here and head to Windsor Castle late morning UK time. He will be greeted there initially by Prince William and Princess Catherine, and then by King Charles and Queen Camilla. During the day, there will be a carriage procession in the grounds of Windsor Castle, which President Trump will take part in. There will be things like looking at Churchill archives over the course of Wednesday and Thursday as well. We know that he will visit the tomb of the late Queen Elizabeth II in the grounds of Windsor Castle. That is, of course, the person that hosted him last time he had a state visit to the UK back in 2019. Military elements to the day on Wednesday too, such as a fly past using planes from both the United Kingdom and the United States. The famous UK Red Arrows will be involved as well. And then really one of the big set piece moments of Wednesday will be a state banquet at Windsor Castle in President Trump's honour. This is, of course, an unprecedented second state visit for President Trump. So keen was the government of Keir Starmer to extend this invitation via Buckingham Palace. Now, on Thursday, President Trump and Keir Starmer will hold talks at Chequers, which is the UK Prime Minister's country residence. They will sign off on a series of deals related to nuclear power, quantum computing, artificial intelligence, and more. Besides, you would expect that they will discuss Ukraine, Gaza, and more, but certainly a packed agenda for President Trump while he's in the UK. Ollie Barrett, NDTV, at Winfield House in central London.
Over in Africa, Andrew Holness was inaugurated Tuesday for the third term. In fact, as Jamaica's Prime Minister, following a tight race on an island shaken by corruption, inequality, and of course, economic concerns. The ceremony took place at the King's House Government Office in the capital, Kingston, in the presence of heads of state and governments of the Caribbean. Under Holness, Jamaica has seen a 43% drop in killings so far this year in 2025. Now, this marks the most significant decline in decades. Here's more.
Andrew Michael Holness, do solemnly, sincerely, and truly declare and affirm that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Jamaica, that I will uphold and defend the Constitution and the laws of Jamaica.
Over in Latin America, inmates at the San Pedro prison in La Paz rioted on Tuesday, taking control of the jail for several hours together to demand more food and daily allowances. The penitentiary regime reported this year that there was a delay in paying the daily food allowances to the prisons that prisoners in Bolivia use actually for the purchase of food. The inmates used portlages and as signs as they stood on the roof, as you see there right on your screens. They shouted, "We want to eat and we are hungry." Here's more.